I'll never tell. Yeah, I like you, that's for sure. Never have to close the door. Been a long time, a year before, and I'm missing you so bad. Gone away a month or more. Every show I go before, need to hear that voice, cause right now feels like it's been too long. I could never let
Hey guys, welcome to week 3 of my NIFE vlogs. Just got out of our weather class and now I'm sitting in my car waiting for nav to start. You know how I like to sit in my car and warm up from that cold ass building. So what did I do this past weekend? No crap, I spent at least 8 hours Saturday and 8 hours Sunday on navigation. I woke up early, did a little bit of navigation just to like get my brain pumped up, and then I would work out. I would come back, eat, do navigation, and then just take breaks as I needed, literally until I went to bed. So yeah, it was a lot of time on nav this weekend, but it didn't feel like I was sitting down and forcing myself to study. Like I was just going through it and trying to get the hang of it, doing a lot of the practice problems, repeating the problems, and it just took a long time. We will have our review today, so that's what our nav class is going to be. It's going to be a review, just like with pretty much all of the other classes that you take. The day before the exam is just going to be a review day with the instructor. And then when I get home, I will take the practice exam for navigation. And I just focus on whatever else I don't feel as comfortable with. It really sucked on Sunday because it was such nice weather. So for like one of my breaks, I just put the top down on my car and I drove around for like 20 minutes. Felt so good. Wanted to go to the beach or something, but we'll have time to go to the beach. Just not right now. Not right now. Oh, and I also read chapter 2 for weather, which is what we had this morning. So that was my weekend. A lot of nav, a little bit of weather, a little bit of working out, a little bit of errands. It was productive. I'm not sure if I'm going to record again after our nav class. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just see you tomorrow morning. I don't know. So I guess I will see you when I see you. Tuesday morning. I'm going to head in to take my exam soon, but I thought I would show you like my exam morning routine. So for exam days, all of our exams are at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I usually like to kind of warm my brain up. Like I need that little refresher. So I try to get up around 5:30 or 6 on exam days, and then I can leave my house and then be on base an hour before the exam, so I can just sit there and kind of review my stuff, and like I said, just kind of like warm my brain up, refresh myself from all of the content that I've learned. And usually I fast until like noon during regular days, but when I have an exam, I have a little cinnamon raisin Ezekiel bread peanut butter honey sandwich. So I did the practice exam last night, and I like zipped through the 40 multiple choice. I think I did it in like 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And then the flight log pretty much took the rest of the time because I made like a really stupid error in the beginning, so I just had to fix that. But it made me feel a lot more confident for today, seeing what like a practice exam would look like, because the problems in the book, some of them could be on an exam, but most of them aren't formatted like a word problem like we would see on the exam. It's kind of just like fill in the missing number. I'm definitely feeling more nervous, more anxious for this test than I felt for the other exams. Probably because we've just taken 3 50-minute exams with 50 multiple choice questions, and this is like a different format exam, and It's like the one class that people always talk about, like, oh, I hate jet logs, or oh, the whiz wheel. But we will see. I'm going to finish my breakfast so that I can get in the car and head over to base, get my brain warmed up, and take this exam. All right, guys, wish me good luck. Hey guys, it is Wednesday morning, so I'm not going to class today. Bad news, I did not pass my NAV exam yesterday. And then once I found that out, I just didn't feel like filming afterwards, as you can imagine. So basically I got a 78 and you need an 80 to pass. So I failed by one question, which sucks. And I felt so ready for the exam. I spent a lot of time. I thought I was doing the problems fast enough. And then I got into the exam and like I just froze up, which I've never really experienced for any exam. But I just froze up. I was like looking at the questions and I didn't even know what it was asking me. Like everything was very jumbled. So I think I just psyched myself out, and unfortunately there's just not enough time to recover. I mean, the NAV test is 2 hours, but you really just have 2 hours to do all of the questions right. You don't really have time to go back and check your work. And going back to check my answers has been something I've been doing for all of the other tests that I took. So I basically, after I would finish taking an exam, I would go through almost the entire thing again, just to make sure I didn't make any silly mistakes. And I didn't prepare myself to not have the ability to do that for the NAV exam because, like I said, you have enough time to just do it once and not make those silly mistakes. So it sucks, and I'm not gonna downplay it, but I also know that it's not the end of the world. I'm not the first person to fail an exam, and I'm not gonna be the last. So yeah, we are not going to let that happen again. Honestly, I feel like I could take the test today and pass it, but that's not an option. I thought about just not filming this and just picking up whenever I start classes again, but I'm trying to be real with you guys, and I guess this is a good thing to see. You know, a common question that people probably have is, well, what happens if you fail? So rather than just answering it, apparently I'm going to give you a real experience, what it's like to fail, what happens when you fail. So now you're probably wondering, what happens next? Basically, yesterday, the scores came out and there were 8 of us that failed. So it was almost like a quarter of our class. So 8 of us that failed. And then we had to go into a remediation session. So basically they just handed us back our exams and our answer sheet, and the instructor went over every single question that someone got wrong. So if you got it wrong, you just raise your hand and then we would all go over it so that you knew how to fix your mistakes for the next time. So I did like that part because normally when you just pass, you don't get to see your exam again. You don't get to see what you did wrong. Maybe if you asked, you could. I don't know. No one in our class has asked. So, and that took like an hour, maybe 2 hours. And ultimately we will not be continuing with our current class. So our academics are going to pause for right now. So the process for getting back into class is, first, we all went to flight management after our remediation session and just had to sign a couple documents there. And then they told us when our board was going to be. So our board is going to be this Thursday, so tomorrow. So I will obviously not film that, but I will film me talking about it afterwards for you guys and let you know what that's like. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be fun. And then after the board, flight management will put you into the next class where there are seats available. And whether or not there's a spot for you just depends on the class size. So right now class sizes are limited because of COVID. So it's somewhere between like 35 and 40 people. I don't know the exact number, but basically we can't exceed that class limit. So the only way for you to get into a class is if someone from that class that you're trying to get into has dropped. They can either drop because they failed an exam, or maybe because of like a personal reason they had to take leave. Some people get COVID, so they obviously can't continue with class. So that's the only way that there's going to be a spot open for you. It's usually very likely that with every exam there's like 1 to 2 drops. So I think I'll be able to get in on Monday. I hope so. Otherwise, you just have to wait week by week until there's an open spot. And it's tough with this group, especially because there's 8 of us. So there's definitely not, it's highly unlikely that there will be a class with 8 spots open at once. So some of us are just gonna have to wait like a month to start again, which would absolutely suck, but it's just what you gotta do. So I really hope this does not happen to any of you guys, but in case it does, now you know kind of what to expect, what's going to happen, and I will film tomorrow after my board, let you know how that whole process goes, and that will probably be it for the week, because like I said, I won't be continuing with class for the remainder of the week, so there's really no point, and I will just pick back up again whenever I'm put into a new class. Alright guys, so I'm going to finish my coffee, and then I will see you tomorrow, either before or after my board. Exciting. So I'm in line at Starbucks right now. Very rainy, stormy day. You can probably hear the rain and my wipers going. I don't usually come to Starbucks, but I'm out of milk and Nespresso pods. So this is the only way I'm getting my coffee this morning. So today is not gonna be fun. It's just not. Put on my whites, which absolutely just sucks in this pouring rain right now, but it is what it is. So 10 out of 10, that was not fun. Obviously it's not supposed to be. I will just give you a quick rundown of what happened. So they told us, hey, show up here at this time in your whites uniform. And there were 8 of us who failed this exam. So there was 8 of us who had to go today. And basically you sit in this room, and one by one, they take you and bring you to another room where you actually have your board. And they give you a quick rundown of like the report in process, and then you stand at attention in front of all of the board members. In our case, there were 3 board members today. I don't know, it seems like maybe that varies. Sometimes there's only a couple, maybe sometimes there's more. But we had 3 board members today, and basically you just stand in front of them for like 5 to 10 minutes. They might ask you a couple questions like, why do you think you didn't pass? Obviously, unless you actually had something going on in your life, it's basically because you didn't study enough. Even if you thought you did, that's why. And then they'll basically tell you that you should have studied more, you should have managed your time more wisely, and you basically just get chewed out a little bit, and then you leave the room. They will send you to flight management again, where they will be able to decide if there's an open spot in a class right now for you to go into. So yeah, totally sucks. Not gonna downplay it. Of course I got nervous before I was reporting in and went to the board. I mean, I've gotten chewed out before. I'm sure wherever you're coming from, you've probably gotten chewed out somehow before. But that doesn't make you any less nervous when it happens the next time. But I think the most important thing to remember if this happens to you is that it's not the end of the world. And I'm not saying that to like downplay this or make excuses for it, but the reality is you failed an academic class. That sucks, that's on you, but that does not define your entire naval career. That's not going to define your entire flight training. So you really just have to get through the board and fix yourself, fix whatever mistakes you think you made that made you fail academically, and just continue pressing on. You're probably going to be pretty disappointed in yourself. You're going to be slapping yourself for a while, and that's okay. You should be kind of hard on yourself. You should be your biggest critic, not the people in front of you at the board, and that's okay. But then also just try to remember that, you know, you're not the first person to have failed in academic class, and you're not going to be the last person. So take it as a humbling experience. When you're in charge of other sailors and other Marines, you know, maybe something like this will happen to them, and you'll be able to put yourself in their shoes because you've experienced this before. And I'm not saying that because that's a reason to go easy on them, but you understand that this one instance does not define a person. You understand that they can come back from this. So again, not an awesome experience, but the good news is I found out that I will actually be going into the class that's starting on Monday. So today is Thursday, so I just got a few days until I start up again. And then until I start class on Monday, I will just be continuing to do that Google form muster. So I guess I did it this morning, I did it Wednesday, and I'll just have to do it tomorrow. That'll be my last day of that. So I'm obviously not like super pumped about having to show you guys this, but I think it's just important to show you guys because one, it could happen to you. I hope it does not happen to you guys. But also, like, I'm being real with these vlogs. This is what happened to me during week 3. And I'm gonna come back, so it'll be okay in the long run. So if you are kind of nervous to start the academics, I hope that seeing this makes you realize that you absolutely never want to fail one of the classes. But on the off chance that you do, they're probably not going to disenroll you for failing one class. You're just gonna have to own up to what you did and fix yourself, and then just crush it for the rest of flight training. So I'm going to end the video here. There's no point in me really filming anything tomorrow because, you know, I will not be going to class. So I'll continue up again next week, and it's a new week. We're starting over technically we're starting over week 2. So, but yeah, I'm going to get out of this uniform so I can eat and drink, because I don't know, if you eat or drink in this uniform, you are a daredevil. I would absolutely not. I can't do that. Alright guys, see you next week.